All right, you guys, welcome back in. This is going to be the last week of January 2025. It's going to be I'm going to start with the Monday. So we're going to do the 27th through I believe it's the 2nd of February. Yeah, we're going to do from Monday to Sunday. All right, so we'll go over the transits. We'll look at the Sabian symbols, which significant transits are in placement with what degree, and we'll get the energy from there, okay? 1 second. Sorry, it was a lot of loud music. Okay, so for the 27th, which is Monday, Moon's Day, all right, the moon is going to be in Capricorn all day. We've got Mercury in Capricorn that's going to sextile over to the North Node in Pisces. We'll have the moon in Capricorn quincunx over to Jupiter in Gemini. We'll see it with a quintile over to Venus in Pisces, quintile over to Neptune in Pisces, quintile over to the North Node in Pisces, and then we'll see it sextile also to Saturn in Pisces. So this water earth energy tomorrow, heavy, super heavy. All right, it's actually working harmoniously. Quintile energies are where you show potential and you get creative. So this is great, right? Biquintile over to Jupiter in Gemini, squared over to Chiron in Aries, and then in opposition to Mars in Cancer. This is where it gets a little bit tense by the end of the day. So we're going to look at the 27th and at what degrees. I find tomorrow to be very interesting because Mercury is actually stepping into Aquarius, and that's happening at, let's see, 9:52 p.m. So this will be later on in the evening. All right, let's see. So Mercury in Capricorn sextiles over to North Node in Pisces at 2:22 a.m. at 28 degrees and 41 minutes. So we'll look at Capricorn at the 29th degree, which speaks about a woman reading tea leaves. Sabian symbol here. It says interpretation of spiritual messages. We may see the signs, and yet we need to also know what they mean. All right. So the sextile over to the North Node in Pisces at 29 degrees is a heavy spiritual type of energy. All right, the 29th degree speaks about a prism, realization of faith from the 26th to the 30th degree. This speaks about seeing God in everything. So if you're reading tea leaves at specifically 2:22 a.m., okay, then you're going to be harmoniously receiving messages and being able to see God in everything, apparently. It says there are two directions that concern us deeply, whether we are looking for God or looking as if through God's eyes. Simultaneously looking for God and looking through God's eyes here through a prism. All right, that's happening at 2:22 a.m., which 222 just kind of means that I feel like you would be more so in alignment, or you have to trust your placement in the world at this time. All right, so the moon in Capricorn will then quincunx Jupiter in Gemini on the 27th at 5:31 a.m. at 11 degrees and 23 minutes. So let's look at the 12th degree of Capricorn. 12th degree of Capricorn speaks about a flag that turns into an eagle that crows. All right, so announcing a new era. So it says humanity is on the verge of huge transformation, and those who can feel this have a duty to announce it. So you may feel that if you have spiritual messages coming through, you want to announce it to the world. You want to put it out there in the public eye, or whatever that may be. All right, but that seems to be a quincunx, which there's discord because Jupiter and Gemini being of communication, Jupiter not being, comfortable in that sign. It's like, how do you expand or grow or, put this information out there with some sort of restriction, because that's what the moon in Capricorn is. Wanting to announce it, but feeling like you can't. All right, let's look at the 12th degree of Jupiter in Gemini. So here is a Topsy saucily asserting herself, the inextinguishable freedom of mind. So habits of behavior and the thought are heavy burdens that must be cast off if we want to journey into new realms. This is interesting, so I'm going to read this one out because it kind of goes with the energy I just said. Despite the apparent freedom of choice offered by new opportunities, we certainly find ourselves caught up in patterns that limit our personal expression. These are residual thought forms, both personal and cultural, that tend to make us do and think what we have become habituated to do and think. To be truly free, we must liberate ourselves from the ghosts of the past. All right, so it's coming through like you have spiritual messages you want to put out there, but you can't really, put it out there because the quincunx energy is discord. So that happens at 5:31 a.m. The moon in Capricorn will then sextile to Saturn in Pisces at 3:33 p.m. So we're already seeing this 222, 333 in alignment in today's or tomorrow's energy, which is 27th. So it's given 16 degrees, 58 minutes. We're going to look at the 17th degree of Capricorn. Let's take a look. It speaks about a girl surreptitiously bathing in the nude. All right, freeing oneself from some sort of inhibition. Much of society's forbidden codes of conduct are unnecessarily prohibitive and can be unhealthy taken to extremes. All right, so freeing yourself from some sort of prohibition. All right, and then we've got, what is it? Saturn and Pisces at 17 degrees. An Easter promenade. This is a very spiritual type of energy. So it speaks about intensification of spiritual grace through celebration. All right. So the emotional aspect of spiritual practice is expanded through group participation in ritual and ceremony. So by tomorrow, we're going to want to be putting out the spiritual messages, but having discord. And then there's this intensification of wanting to put this information out there. All right. But then still dealing with that of wanting to free yourself of some sort of prohibition, meaning it feels like you're restricted in any way. All right, now by late evening, we will see a square over to Chiron and Aries. Obviously, Chiron is all about healing. All right, Moon in Capricorn, Chiron and Aries, they're both cardinal energies, so they're very both authoritative. Capricorn, obviously being ruled by Saturn, and Aries being ruled by Mars. This energy gives a very authoritative type of energy. So this is looking at 7:51 p.m., 19 degrees, 23 minutes. Let's take a look at the 20th degree of Capricorn. A hidden choir singing. Feels like you have to hide away. All right, so spiritual fellowship, it says putting aside the ego, we find that greater joy comes from shared celebration of our spiritual nature. So ego being that of Capricorn's ego, you know what I mean? Like, could be like emotional ego, whatever that is. I'm thinking of like the devil card for Capricorn's energy and tarot is completely about like ego. All right, and then we've got Piscean energy here as well. Sorry, no, Chiron and Aries at the 20th degree, you might as well say. So this speaks about a young girl feeding birds in the winter, seeing life as a constant opportunity to experience love. All right. It says life's very harshness is what enables us to learn of love's unfathomable depth and being innocent and fearless in love. All right. And by the late evening, 11:52 p.m., Mercury would already be in Aquarius by here. This is the opposing energy of Capricorn and Cancer at 22 degrees. Let's just take a look at what this is, because we were just seeing this opposition the other day with Mercury in Capricorn opposing Mars in Cancer. Now it's the moon in Capricorn opposing that of Mars in Cancer. So there's this dynamic of the push and pull energy between masculine and feminine energies overall. All right. Or it's calling for career versus home is the type of energy. All right, so let's look at 22 degrees of Capricorn. A general accepting defeat gracefully. So this would be like a person in authority accepting defeat. All right, so finding success in apparent defeat. A person of high character can find the silver lining for every cloud and turn every setback into a reward or an opportunity. All right, so redefining the meaning of success and failure. Now, Mars, on the other hand, at 22 degrees, being in Cancer, let's see. This one here, a woman awaiting a sailboat. Uncertain expectancy. Our dreams may come true, and yet they may not. We have to find a way to come to terms with that. All right, so either what you're going after comes true, or if it doesn't, it looks like you're going to be obviously in opposition of someone feeling like they have been defeated. All right, either you defeat them or they just are stubborn and they won't give up. Okay, that's what it's given there. Now, Tuesday, moon in Capricorn, mostly through the morning time is what it looks like. And then we ingress into the moon in Aquarius by 2:32 p.m. All right, so on that day, we've got the moon trining over to Uranus and Taurus, sextile over to Venus and Pisces, sesquiquadrate over to Jupiter and Gemini, sextile to Neptune and Pisces, sextile to to the North Node in Pisces, in conjunction with Mercury and Capricorn. All right, that'll be the moon in Capricorn in conjunction with Mercury in Capricorn. And then, I'm sorry, no, Mercury would already be in Aquarius by then. So wow, we get two conjunctions on Tuesday. Mercury and Pluto's conjunction with the moon in Aquarius. That's interesting. All right. So some sort of transformational energy here, lots of communication, the feeling of independence and freedom as well with the moon being in Aquarius. And then we'll see a semi-square over to Saturn in Pisces. All right. So it looks like Tuesday the shift takes place. All right. With this type of transformative energy. So 2:42 a.m. we see the moon in Capricorn trine over to Uranus in Taurus, which is awesome, right? There are two earth energies. The trine brings in something auspicious. So let's just take a look at Uranus in Taurus at 24 degrees. One second. This one here speaks about a mounted Indian with scalp locks. All right, so from the 21st to the 25th degree of Taurus, there's a heavy energy of like authority, okay? So this one speaks about channeled aggression. It says, during early stages of development, it remains crucial to establish identity of self and tribe by fighting for it if needed, which is all about channeling aggression. All right, and then we're going to be seeing the moon in Capricorn at 24 degrees as well, at a trine. So it speaks about a woman entering a convent. Reconciliation, dedication to spiritual expressions. Those who choose to pursue a life of devotion to God are supported by the community. So you will be supported if you're going after your spiritual journey here. 2:42 a.m., mostly, I would say all day, is where those energies are going to be trining to. So you'll feel that kind of vibe all the way through Tuesday. The moon in Capricorn sextiles over to Venus in Pisces. 4:53 a.m. at 24 degrees and 30 minutes. So let's just take a look at the 25th degree of Capricorn first. This is an Oriental rug dealer is what it speaks about here. Convergence of tradition, spirituality, and commerce. Enjoying the comforts of traditional expressions of abundance. Blending spiritual ideas with ordinary events and traditional culture. All right, so you might be like spending time with like your family or whatever seems to be of tradition here on Tuesday. All right. It says enjoying the comforts, all right, of traditional expressions of abundance. So whatever that means there. Let's see the 25th degree of Pisces. The purging of the priesthood. All right, so rooting out of corruption. However sincere an initial impulse was, there will always be corrupting influences. Sometimes it is best to restart and refresh and rid yourself of negative thought. All right, so if someone has been against you or against your spirituality or against your beliefs or against what you feel is to be of tradition, then you're able to kind of like root out that energy from your, environment, whatever emotionally you feel, because it's with the moon's energy here. Okay. Now, the moon in Capricorn will sextile to Neptune in Pisces by 10:48 a.m. at 27 degrees and 52 minutes. We're looking at the moon in Capricorn at 28 degrees at this point. All right, let's take a look. A large aviary. So the 26th to the 30th degree, you're mastering something here. And it's all about your spirituality, right? So it speaks about the awareness of your spiritual messages that are coming through. It says all around us are clues and indicators, some arising as intuition. We need to train ourselves to find them by expecting them. So the awareness of signs and subtle metaphors in life. All right, what are the signs and synchronicities that you're receiving here? The awareness of the spiritual messages that are coming through. And then we're also looking at the 28th degree of Pisces, which is all about the fertile garden under the full moon. And again, realization of faith, understanding that enough is a feast. Success in mastering the earth plane is measured by our ability to win abundance without becoming slave to greed. All right, don't be becoming slave to greed. That's what it's given. All right, so then we have the conjunction again with the moon in Aquarius with Mercury and Pluto. That's happening later on in the evening, 4:45 p.m. at 1 degree and 16 minutes and 5:56 p.m. at 1 degrees and 57 minutes. Now, the moon in Aquarius at the 2nd degree, we're going to read this energy out real quick. This one gives like an unexpected thunderstorm. I remember this one. All right, so all life is ephemeral. Even though we want to cement our lives into secure structure, nature always wins in the end. All right, submission to unforeseen and uncontrollable forces is what it feels like. So we're looking at the conjunction of that 2nd degree there. So expect the unexpected on Tuesday night. All right, specifically from 4:45 p.m. to 5:56 p.m. Expect the unexpected. Now, on the new moon in Aquarius on Wednesday, the 29th, that's happening at 7:36 a.m. We've got Mercury that is going to conjunct Pluto that day specifically. All right. That takes place at 2:55 a.m. at 1 degree and 58 minutes. So again, expect the unexpected from Tuesday into Wednesday. Very big deal. All right. For Aquarius's energy specifically, wherever that falls in your chart, we've got also Mercury in Aquarius that's going to semi-square over to Saturn in Pisces, the moon in Aquarius all day, quintile over to Chiron in Aries, conjunct the sun in Aquarius. We'll see a semi-square over to Venus. We have to remember, you guys, that the sun in Aquarius is at its detriment. It's not comfortable there. Okay, the sun wants to be in the spotlight. Aquarius likes to be independent and alone. Okay, working alone. They like their freedom, their independence, so that's just what it is. But we're also seeing here a trine over to Jupiter and Gemini, which brings in this attention of someone being curious about you, or you having something to say. The connection with, you know, your local community, or if there's transportation or some sort of like public speaking or something that needs to take place here, that's the biggest deal on that day. Something auspicious coming in with those energies. Lots of semi-squares on Wednesday though. All right, so again, Mercury semi-squared over to Saturn. We've got the moon in Aquarius all day semi-squared over to Venus in Pisces, Neptune in Pisces, and the North Node in Pisces. All right, and then we'll see a semi-sextile energy, which is more so not working well with each other because they're two different elements with Saturn in Pisces and the moon in Aquarius. Not too good. All right, but let's look into, I'm seeing a lot of second degree energy, but we're going to look into, where am I going? Down here. I want to look into the main transit for that day. 10:09 a.m., 11 degrees and 20 minutes with the moon trining over to Jupiter and Gemini. All right, so we already spoke about Gemini being in this vibe of the inextinguishable freedom of mind. This is what I'm saying. You're going to feel like you have something to say. So the habits of your behavior and the thought that are heavy burdens that must be cast off if you want to journey into new realms is what's going to take place that day. All right. Let's take a look at the moon in Aquarius at the 12th degree. People on stairs graduated upwards. All right, so it says we are not all equal. However spiritually inspiring it may be to think that we are all of the same worth and level of attainment, the truth is that it is not so. Self-examination and improvement are necessary here. All right, so you could be examining yourself here. Again, moon in Aquarius, a very independent type of energy. You may not feel that everybody is up on your level, or that they think the same way, or that they have the same type of beliefs, whatever that means. All right. It could be that you're going through a personal spiritual progression, or whatever this is, that others are not going to be in alignment with you. So you're going to feel like that conjunction is like your personal transformation against someone else's beliefs or whatever that is. All right. So I feel like that's going to be the biggest thing. But if it's in a trine and it works auspicious for you, then let it be what it is. All right. Because the other energies are working in unity with Mercury. All right. Being in Aquarius, this gives an energy of like transition. It speaks about like moving into calmer shores, and just it's a lot of intellectual energy. So you could be finding that you're really tapped into that. All right, now on Thursday, which is the 30th, we've got the sun in Aquarius trining over to Jupiter and Gemini. We've got the moon in Aquarius sextiled over to Chiron in Aries, quincunxed over to Mars in Cancer. We'll see it square over to Uranus and Taurus, semi-sextile over to Venus, Neptune, the North Node. All right, and then when the moon ingresses into Pisces by 5:52 p.m., we'll see it semi-sextile over to Pluto in Aquarius. All right, which is clearly at that first degree and about, you know, closer to the second degree by then. All right, so we'll look into this real quick. So the sun in Aquarius and trining over to Jupiter and Gemini, that's happening later on in the evening. All right, but with the moon in Aquarius all day from 12:01 a.m., we'll see it sextile to Chiron in Aries. By 2:26 a.m., we'll see it quincunx over to Mars in Cancer. 6:28 a.m., we'll see it square over to Uranus and Taurus. We'll see a semi-sextile over at 11:47 to Venus in Pisces. 2:24 p.m., it'll semi-sextile to Neptune in Pisces. And then by 2:52 p.m., we'll see it semi-sextile to the North Node in Pisces. By late evening, we'll see it semi-sextile with the moon in Pisces over to Pluto in Aquarius at 9 degrees and 17 minutes. This is a big deal, you guys, because with Aquarius's moon starting at 12:01 a.m. We're moving from the 20th degree all the way through the rest of the day to the 30th degree. And Aquarius's energy there, from the 20th to the 30th degree, it speaks here about assurance and poise. All right, so I'll read these energies out. It says, first and foremost, because we need to eat and stay safe and warm, we need to learn self-organization and stay on top of things by protecting ourselves from others, by exposing hidden causes and false representations of purposes and explanations, and by learning how to deal with emergencies. These are the skills we need to gain victory over forces of entropy and destruction. And then from the 21st to the 25th degree, it says, being on top of things demonstrates poise, wherein we are able to face emotional upsets and pain with grit and forbearance. We remember to practice kindness and a spiritual path. We can demonstrate self-control, and by setting an example, we learn how best to live by teaching others to rise above emotionality completely in order to attain spiritual wisdom. The earth plane shows us how, by measurement and study of how things work, we can gain an intuitive development of hidden meaning inheriting in things. The alchemy of perpetual transformation, expanding perception in order to see more deeply, shifting our spiritual level up a notch so that we are able to envision the universe as both a kaleidoscope of never-ending diversity and yet also a point of radiant light. All right, so this feels like a major transformation that's happening by the end of the day, all right, by Thursday. Now, remember, the new moon happens on Wednesday, and that's where the conjunctions are happening with Pluto and with Mercury. So by then, we're like focusing on like stepping into poise and really heavily focused on alchemy. All right, by Friday, which is the 31st, Jazz's birthday. I would welcome everybody in the chat to say happy birthday to me because I'm probably going to be working. Hopefully, please God. Okay. All right, we've got the moon in Pisces all day. All right, so we'll have the moon semi-squared over to Chiron in Aries, semi-sextiled over to Mercury in Aquarius. We'll have a sesquiquadrate energy to Mars in Cancer, quintiled over to Uranus in Taurus. We'll see it square over to Jupiter in Gemini, semi-sextiled to the Sun in Aquarius. And then we'll also see a semi-square to Pluto in Aquarius and a conjunction with Saturn in Pisces with the moon in Pisces. All right, so that's Friday. The most significant transit on this day, I feel, is going to be the conjunction of the moon in Pisces conjuncting over to Saturn in Pisces. And that's happening late evening, 11:09 p.m. Now, also, I'm seeing the moon in Pisces squared over to Jupiter in Gemini. These are mutable energies more so. All right, so let's just take a look at these energies here. So Pisces at 12:53 p.m. at 11 degrees and 18 minutes. We're going to look at the 12th degree of Pisces. An examination of the initiates. All right, so you'll be examined here. It says we are brought to a focus and challenge to produce our best results in order to measure and improve, dealing with examinations and challenges effectively. So maybe you'll be challenged on this day, and that's okay, right? Let's take a look. Jupiter. Yeah, and it's giving me Jupiter and Gemini's energy once again with this whole like freedom of mind thing and the habit of behavior and the thought that are heavy burdens that must be cast off if you want to journey into a new realm. Okay. So moon in Pisces conjuncting Saturn in Pisces at 18 degrees. Let's just take a look at that real quick. The 18th degree of Pisces with this conjunction speaks about a gigantic tent. All right, so performance in public, we are subject to pressure and support of our community, which sometimes focuses its attention on us alone. Be entertainer, teacher, and or priest. It says alone we may well be satisfied with our own ideas and creative outpourings, but if we want to attract the following, we need to put on some kind of public display, which is typically entertaining or spiritual, and it could be a circus or a religious group, for example. That kind, or the kind that is suggested by a marquee. We cannot expect our messages to gain validation and popularity or even much attention unless we are willing and capable enough to focus outwardly with the intention of self-exposition. All right. So, the weekend, the moon in Pisces, number one, is just like a very like dreamy, psychic ability, heightened intuitive type of energy overall. All right, so this is going to be significant for those that are like on spiritual journeys here. So on Saturday, the 1st of February, let's just get into February's chart. We are looking at, wow, a lot of transits that day. So the moon will come out of Pisces and ingress into Aries, but that won't happen until late evening, 8:10 p.m. We're looking at Venus in Pisces semi-squared over to the Sun in Aquarius. The Sun in Aquarius semi-sextiled over to Neptune in Pisces. We'll see Mercury in Aquarius quintiled over to Chiron in Aries. We'll see Venus in Pisces conjunct Neptune in Pisces, which I love that transit. All right, we have the Sun in Aquarius semi-squared over to the North Node in Aries. I'm sorry, the North Node in Pisces. And then we have Venus conjuncting the North Node. This is great. This is great energy. Venus conjuncting Neptune and conjuncting the North Node. Amazing. All right, because Venus is exalted in Pisces, is comfortable there. The North Node in Pisces wants us to follow our destiny when it pertains to imagination, creativity, spirituality, being vulnerable and passionate, and, you know, vulnerable with others, like compassionate with them. So it gives like a lot of love on Saturday. All right, so the moon in Pisces, semi-sextile to Chiron in Aries. We'll see it trine over to, it looks like when it ingresses into, what is that? Oh, I see it. It's two water energies. Got it. So the moon in Pisces will then trine over to Mars in Cancer. We'll see it semi-square over to Mercury, as well as the Sun in Aquarius. And we're going to see the moon at that point in Pisces conjunct Venus in the North Node and Neptune. So there's a lot of conjunction energy, specifically on Saturday the 1st, with heavy spirituality, right? The moon being in Pisces, Venus being in Pisces, the North Node being in Pisces, Neptune, all this energy is conjuncting. And by the end of the night, the moon in Aries will sextile to Pluto in Aquarius. Big deal. Big deal. All right, so it's all happening. It looks like starting at 2:37 a.m. we'll see the semi-sextiles begin. The trine with the moon in Pisces over to Mars in Cancer will happen at 4:02 a.m. So this is all early morning when we are sleeping, you guys. So pay attention to your dreams early Saturday morning. And do me a favor, try not to drink, you guys. Because when you're under, how do you say it? When you're under the influence, you don't receive the messages that you're supposed to be receiving. All right. The other conjunctions are happening from 4:48 p.m., 5:06 p.m., I'm getting 5:05 and 5:06 p.m. This is very close. All of these Neptunian, Venus, North Node, and the Moon Pisces energy all happening at the very last degrees of Pisces. Once again, when we look into that energy, we're looking into, one second. We're looking into the 20th through the 30th degree. So this is all about purification and the realization of faith. All right, I'll read them out. It says, through the practice and demonstration of innocence and being, we follow our spiritual code. We notice how people suffer and live in confusion. We can learn how to use their conflict, and indeed all conflict, as a means to learn self-purification and compassionate acceptance, and thus to rid ourselves of judgments and other negative thoughts. We come to a state of realization that we have no choice but to exercise free will. Thus, we are constrained to our lives as the fulfillment of our desires, and we do fulfill our desires by simultaneously looking for God and looking at it through God's eyes. We become whatever we idealize. All right. So that's that. Sunday, February 2nd. 1 second. Let me go back. February 2nd. This is Groundhog Day, by the way, and the moon will be in Aries all day. I don't feel like there's much going on, to be honest. The moon is in Aries all day. We'll see it semi-square over to Uranus and Taurus. We'll see it sextile over to Mercury in Aquarius, Jupiter and Gemini. All right, so that's like on either way. We're looking at a lot of harmony and compatibility there. Chiron's in Aries, obviously. But we won't see the trines with Mercury and Jupiter and all that energy up until Monday, the 3rd. All right, so I feel like this will be a great day for communication. The sun in Aquarius, obviously very innovative, very free. All right, it could be used in a great way when it comes to, let's just say, innovative projects. Innovative projects. All right, let's take a look at the index overall for the week heading into February as well. I think I can only get up until the end of January, but you guys kind of get the point here. So where we are today on the, what's today, the 26th, we're looking at tomorrow being a very heightened day. So Aries, you guys have Aries and Libra, physical 10, Taurus and Scorpio, mental 16. We've got Gemini, Sagittarius at a physical 6. We've got Cancer and Capricorn at a physical 7. Aquarius and Leo, mental 3, and Virgo and Pisces at a mental 4. All right, by Tuesday, the energies are dropping way down. We're looking at Aries and Libra, Taurus and Scorpio at a mental 3. No, mental 2. All right. And then everybody else is in the low ones besides Aquarius and Leo, physical 6. All right. On the 28th there. The 29th, the energies go right back up, which is Wednesday. This is the day of the new moon in Aquarius. We've got mental energies here for Aries and Libra. All right, mental 12. Taurus and Scorpio, you guys are at a physical 7 after being a lot of days and a lot of mental energy. All right, so get ready to put in some sort of hard work there with the Taurus and Scorpio energies. We're looking at Gemini and Sagittarius with a mental 7. We've got Cancer and Capricorn, mental 4. We're looking at Aquarius and Leo, once again, heightened physical energy, all right, with physical 10. So Aquarius and Leo, you guys are like back to back throughout the whole week, heavy physical energy, because it's even coming in for the 30th as well. All right, you guys won't let it die down up until the weekend, and that's Friday. But Virgo and Pisces, you guys are back up as well with the energy of physical 6. So by the 30th, everybody looks pretty much evened out. It's giving me a little bit of mental here with Aries, Libra. We're looking at Gemini, Sag, Cancer, Capricorn. Everybody else is in physical energy. The high of it is going to be Aquarius and Leo. And then by the 31st, it looks here, Virgo and Pisces, you guys are winning the day. Virgo and Pisces and Cancer and Capricorn, mental and physical energies. All right, so it looks like a very up and down type of week. Heavy on physical energy starting by tomorrow. All right, for Aries, Libra, and then as well for Taurus, Scorpio, mental 16. A lot of people are going to be in their head about a few things tomorrow. All right, and it could be a lot about money. Second house, 8th house is all about money. All right, big deal. Now, the physical energy for tomorrow is in the 1st house and the 7th house, so it would have to be like the opposition of self and relationships is what I'm feeling overall. All right, so it looks like hobbies, opposing communities, that's going to pick up by the new moon in Aquarius, and that makes sense because that's Aquarius's energy. All right, so that'll be like more physical from the 28th, the 29th into the 30th. All right, I hope you guys this helps you out. Let's pull a rune just to end it to see what's the heavy focus of this week coming up, and I'm out of here. It's getting dark. I'm hungry, or I'm hangry. I'm hangry. Let's see what's going on here. Wow. So it's giving Manaz. All right. It says the self, the individual, or the human race, your attitude towards others and their attitude towards you, whether that be your friend, your enemy, and or social order, could be of significance. All right. So the ruling times of Manaz is going to be 7:30 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. And this rune is the 20th rune. Let's see. Would I pull on this energy here? The 20th rune. All right, so Manaz means teamwork. It shows that you are willing to receive and help support from others. Think of building partnerships and expanding your contacts. Your contacts. All right, so that can mean it's anything. But business partnerships, personal relationships, support from others could be a very significant here, and how you can be in the energy of giving and receiving. So I'm seeing like the 6 of Pentacles, which is the moon in Taurus, in tarot, and that moon in Taurus is stepping in February 5th with the first quarter moon of this fixed moon cycle. So it's a big deal, you guys. All right, an equal give and take is of significance here. And the number 22 for me is like, that's master number 22. I forget exactly what it means. I'll look it up. Master number. I can't remember what day it was that we saw early in the morning. It was like a 222, 333 type of day. I think that was Tuesday, if I'm not mistaken. All right, so in numerology, the master number 22 represents the need for balance between work and life, and the importance of considering all aspects of a situation before making a big decision. Okay, that's what it gives. So it is the master builder number. It says, known as the master builder, this number is associated with the ability to turn dreams into your reality. People with this number in their numerology chart have a unique blend of practicality and vision, making them capable of achieving great things. All right. So that's what I've got. I hope it resonates in any way or it's useful for you in any way. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. Bye.